As the title suggests, this is going to be a comparison between a waist level finder and a prism finder. I just picked this up used off Camera Exchange on eBay. I had a prism on my RZ67 and I liked it a lot. I like how it corrects the image, so what you're seeing is what the picture is going to be. It's no longer reversed with the waist level finder. This one does have a built-in meter, and from the tests that I've done, it seems to be pretty accurate. So I just did the test over on my pillow, and the camera meter was saying about 1/25th of a second on the shutter speed, and my light meter was saying 1/60th of a second. So I'm just gonna go around and test some other spots in my apartment. This is just a blank wall, 2.8 f-stop, ISO 400. This says 1/8 of a second. I'm gonna set this to AEL, and I'm gonna point it directly at the wall and see what reading it gives me. So this is saying 1/15 to 1/30th. So the light meter says 1/8 of a second, and the prism tells me 1/15th of a second. So pretty close, not exactly right on the money, but not bad. And this says 1/8 of a second. And now when I point my prism, it says 1/15th of a second. So one way you can counteract this to get the same reading as the actual light meter is to set this left side, your exposure compensation to +1, and it tricks the prism. Well, it doesn't trick it, but it tells the prism that it's actually a lower speed film, so it actually needs more light. So on this side, you'll have, if you want to pick an average readout of the scene, which is going to be everything in the scene, and it will give you your exposure. And then S is spot, and that will just be the circle, whatever you're pointing it at. That's the way that I like to use it. I seem to get a much better reading. If you use average and you're doing something like a backlit subject, it's going to take that backlight into consideration, and then your subject is going to be vastly underexposed. So when you do the spot metering, you point it at the subject, it's only going to take the subject into the reading. So on the top here, you have your exposure compensation, and then on the right, you have the automatic mode, which when you press the shutter, it will pick your shutter speed for you. And then the manual mode, if you switch it to 60, say, and point it at your scene, it's going to give you a readout on the right side. Right now this says plus, so that means I'm overexposed. So you switch that until it's green. So this was 1/125th, and it's green, so that's how I know everything's exposed properly. It does add a lot of weight. The waist level finder with the 110 is the lightest you can get on the RZ67. And then with the prism, it adds about 1,000 grams. And I don't necessarily hate it all because it does make me a little more stable with my shots. And the pros of it being corrected and having a built-in meter outweighs the heftiness that it brings. But it's nice to know that I could use this as a meter if I forget my meter, or if I just don't want to worry about metering a scene. It's kind of like a heavy run and gun medium format camera. And then the magnifier is just a nice little add-on where I know that I'm going to get precise focusing. So the next video I'm going to do is going to be a portrait session with Emma, and I'm going to compare the 65, the 110, and the 180. I am going to use the prism, and I'm going to meter everything with the prism, so I look forward to that. So be on the lookout for that. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.